I am reading from A Wrinkle in Time by Madeline L'Engle. Yes, Mrs. Witch said, he is behind the darkness, so that even we cannot see him. Meg began to cry, to sob aloud. Through her tears she could see Charles Wallace standing there, very small, very white. Calvin put his arms around her, but she shuddered and broke away, sobbing wildly. Then she was enfolded in the great wings of Mrs. Whatsit, and she felt comfort and strength pouring through her. Mrs. Whatsit was not speaking aloud, and yet through the wings Meg understood words. "My child, do not despair. Do you think we would have brought you here if there were no hope? We are asking you to do a difficult thing, but we are confident that you can do it. Your father needs help. He needs courage, and for his children he may be able to do what he cannot do for himself." "Now," Mrs. Witch said, "are we ready?" "Where are we going?" Calvin asked. Again Meg felt an actual physical tingling of fear as Mrs. Witch spoke. "We must go behind the shadow." "But we will not do it all at once," Mrs. Whatsit comforted them. "We will do it in short stages." She looked at Meg. "Now we will tesser. We will wrinkle again. Do you understand?" "No," Meg said flatly. Mrs. Whatsit sighed. "Explanations are not easy when they are about things for which your civilization still has no words. Calvin talked about traveling at the speed of light. You understand that, little Meg?" "Yes," Meg nodded. "That, of course, is the impractical long way around. We have learned to take shortcuts whenever possible." "Sort of like in math?" Meg asked. "Like in math." Mrs. Whatsit looked over at Mrs. Who. "Take your skirts and show them. La experiencia es la madre de la ciencia. Spanish, my dears. Cervantes. Experience is the mother of knowledge."